Am I the asshole for giving my mother-in-law a fake copy of my house key and exposing her on Christmas dinner? I want to preface this by saying that I, female 34, married my husband, male 37, a year ago. His mom is snoopy and annoying AF. She can't help it, that's just how she is, as my dear in-laws say. My husband and I purchased a new house recently. My mother-in-law kept pushing to get an emergency key. She promised that she would only use it in an emergency, but given the fact that she had an emergency key to our old apartment and walked in on us being intimate twice, but my husband didn't think it was a big deal. Red flags. I just couldn't trust her, so I sent her a fake key after she kept pushing, and she had a smug on her face after I hand-delivered it to her. Days gone by, and on Christmas dinner, my mother-in-law angrily called me out on the fact that I gave her a fake copy of the house key. She shamed me for doing this in front of everyone. In my defense, I asked her how she found out, and she said days ago when she came over at 4 while my husband and I were out. I reminded her, didn't you promise you wouldn't use it unless there was an emergency? You broke the promise that you made to us? She looked red in the face, and the other family started staring, and some even laughed at her for the face she made. She suddenly got up from her seat and rushed into the kitchen where she had a huge meltdown so loud the next door neighbors must have heard. Literally. I've never heard a 60-plus-year-old woman throw a tantrum like that. Needless to say, dinner went awkward and my husband and his sister were giving me looks. My husband went off on me in the car and said I lied, manipulated, humiliated, and exposed his mom, and said he wouldn't have let me get away with it had he known. We had an argument, and he is demanding I apologize to his mom for my childish behavior and for ruining Christmas dinner for the whole family. Am I the asshole? Edited to add, so this went off unexpectedly, and I thought I'd show my husband some pretty helpful comments I found here minutes ago, but he got mad at me when he saw it and said I was nuts to talk about his family online. He demanded my phone so he could delete it, but I refused, and I went upstairs and into the bedroom. I've never seen him so agitated, and I didn't think he'd react like that, honestly. But thank you guys for your support. It really means so much. I'll update if I can. Thanks again. So, surprise, surprise, mother-in-law didn't respect a boundary. The big surprise here, though, is how OP's husband handled this. He was completely on his mother's side, which, throw more red flags, here we go. There is one caveat here, and that's they've only been married 1 year. And year one of marriage is really tough. We've talked about this before. You're learning how to communicate through things. This is obviously something that's going to kind of crash course them through that, right? They're going to have to figure out how to communicate through this if they are going to survive. If they do not pull this off, they are not going to survive. It's really that simple. They've got to decide as a unit how they are going to handle mother-in-law and their relationship with mother-in-law and their boundaries with mother-in-law. OP's husband didn't give a shit that she stomped all over these boundaries and had no respect for his wife. He only cared that she got exposed and embarrassed in front of everyone. And maybe you could have handled that differently and pulled her aside, but that's not your fault. She chose to start that conversation right there in front of everyone, right? She chose to break her promise. She chose to bring it up in front of everyone, come what may. That's what happens. You are not the asshole at all. This mother-in-law, I don't know that she's a terrible person for all of this. She's definitely an ass-con too, at least. And again, mother-in-laws are like always an automatic ass-con too if there's any kind of issue. It's either they're great, they don't show up at all, or they go right to ass-con two and they're creeping up on one. It just takes like one breath to get them to one. So she's a heartbeat away from one. But the bigger issue here is that OP's husband is along for the ass-con ride. Like, what is homeboy doing here? He's got to ask himself, number one, who he wants to live with for the rest of his life, because that's the easy way to determine as a husband who you should be siding with, right? He loves his wife. He married her. He married OP, not his mom. His mom's always going to be his mom, but he married his wife. And when he made that decision, he chose to be her teammate, but he's not acting like it. He's still on team mom. And you can't be. You cannot be team mom and expect to have a healthy relationship if team mom means acting against your spouse. If team mom is perfect harmony and doesn't cause problems, then great, you can pull that off. As soon as there's any kind of turbulence created by mother-in-law, you have to side with your wife. Or you're choosing to live with your mom for the rest of your life, dude. It's that simple. It's also just the wrong move in general. I think it's hilarious when people get exposed, especially when they get exposed in front of other people. I'm sure it's embarrassing. It should be embarrassing to get exposed. It's hilarious that she threw a tantrum. She must not have been exposed exposed before. So this is a new one for her. And remember, pain creates change. Maybe she'll change her behavior. Probably not. Good luck with all this. You're not an asshole, but you apparently married a family of assholes, so that seems to be another recurring theme.
Do you know what that little bitch just said to me in there? She exposed me in front of everyone. I'm gonna take this turkey and I'm gonna... Which sides did she bring? I will throw them everywhere. No! No! I can't do it anymore. She's been so cruel on my own baby boy. Didn't stand up for me and he let this happen. This is no Christmas at all. This is my nightmare.
I don't know what a 60-year-old tantrum looks like, but that's a bit of what comes to mind. Tell me what you think it would have been like. Better yet, film it. Send me a response. Tag me. Show me your 60-year-old mother-in-law tantrum in this scenario. How would you play it out? I really want to see it. Hey, by the way, if you're not already following us on Instagram and YouTube, you definitely should be. The exclusive content on YouTube is compilations where you can just listen to a whole bunch of these in a row. We also have tons of playlists that are different types of drama. So if you only want to listen to mother-in-law drama, which we apparently have a whole shit ton of, there's a playlist for that. Boyfriend-girlfriend drama, there's a playlist for that too. Kid drama, got it. Wedding drama, got it. Plain old family drama, got it. Also have just an Am I the Asshole playlist where you can just watch them all. You could literally sit there for like 2 days and just listen to nothing but Am I the Asshole stories of us reading and talking about them. And on Instagram, we have a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you will never see anywhere else, that goes into more of the life that goes around all of this videos, behind the cameras, you know, that kind of thing. And of course, we have the podcast out now, and on the podcast channels, which you can get to through Linktree, you can actually get the audio compilations, which come out every Wednesday. So you get fresh content every week. You can be listening to assholes all the time. You can be listening to this asshole talk about those assholes all the time. In the car, on the crapper, at work. You can stop watching Yellowstone, by God. Just put this up on TV and watch it for hours and hours and hours. Spoiler alert, there's always an asshole. Thanks for watching. We really enjoy your guys' feedback and how you jump in and start talking about the stories. We really appreciate you guys sharing and engaging the way that you do. You've turned this into something that's just crazy and beyond what we ever thought it would be whenever we started this experiment back in August-ish of 22. So it hasn't been very long and we're just trying to keep up. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a happy Christmas and a great drama-free holiday time with your fams and your loved ones. And just know that we appreciate you. We love you. Merry Christmas.